What if the key to the White House wasn't inspiration, but ice, cold calculation? Forget the soaring speeches and unity pledges. In the blood-soaked arena of American elections, where billions vanish, scandals erupt like fireworks, and voters flip like Fortuna's wheel, the real winners don't dream of glory. They seize it. For 500 years, politicians have whispered Niccolò Machiavelli's The Prince like a forbidden spell. Trump wielded it like a hammer in 2016 and beyond, turning fear into fire. Biden's quiet maneuvers echoed its cunning. Now, in this brutal 3,000-word script, I'll arm you with Machiavelli's unbreakable tactics for crushing primaries, debates, and election night. No morals, no mercy, just victory. Your opponent's already dead. Let's conquer. Act 1. Appear the saint. Strike the devil. The optics of power. Elections aren't won on policy papers. They're won in the mirror of the masses. Machiavelli nails it in Chapter 18. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. You must radiate virtue, humble, faithful, merciful, while your shadow carves throats. Step into the primaries. Challengers swarm like wolves. Your tactic, fox cunning, flood TikTok with viral clips. You hugging migrants at the border, tears in eyes, vowing compassion for all. Behind closed doors, leak dirt on rivals' donors, tax scandals, affairs, through anonymous PSE. By Iowa caucuses, their bleeding supporters, you're the unifier. General election, lion roar meets saintly mask. Debates are gladiator pits. When your foe attacks, don't defend. Counter-strike savagely. Recall Trump's 2024 playbook. Accuse, never excuse. Crooked, he bellowed at Harris echoes while polls surged. Machiavelli, Chapter 17. It is much safer to be feared than loved. Stoke fear subtly. They're coming for your guns, your jobs, your kids. Voters don't vote facts, they vote emotions. Fundraising, deception's goldmine. Promise Wall Street stability. Evangelicals God's will. Unions jobs forever. Deliver, only if it serves. Machiavelli, men are so simple. They are taken in by the mere appearance. In 2020, Biden's $1.5 billion war chest flowed from this. Corporate cash masked as progress. Your war chest balloons to $2 billion. Opponents starve, scandals hit. Own the narrative. Deny, deflect, destroy the source. Epstein lists drop. Fake news which hunt. Flood X with memes blaming deep state. By midnight, hash your name trends heroic. The prince who controls perception controls the electorate. Act 2. Conquer the new principality from outsider to emperor. U.S. politics favors incumbents. 95% House re-election rates mock democracy. But Machiavelli, chapters 6-9, worships the new prince, conquering outsiders who shatter the old order. Those who become rulers through ability, acquire their dominions with difficulty but hold them with ease. Challengers win by blood and brilliance. As outsider, exploit chaos. 2024's border crisis. Inflation spikes. Fortuna's gifts. Promise radical rupture. Drain the swamp 2.0. Build your army, not mercenaries, lobbyist consultants, but loyal fanatics. Trump's MAGA cult. Rallies as rituals. Red hats as uniforms. Chapter 12. Mercenaries are useless and dangerous. Ditch pollsters. Trust your base's roar. Primaries divide and devour. Court the extremes. Evangelicals get anti-abortion fire. Moderates unity when a rival surges. Like DeSantis' 2023 strike once, strike hard. Chapter 3. Injuries should be done altogether so that they may be borne less. One oppo dump. Family scandals. Donor flips. He's gone. You're anointed. Convention. Pageantry of power. Balloons, anthems, tears. Machiavelli loved spectacles. Chapter 21. Nothing makes a prince so esteemed as great enterprises. Nominate bombastically. We'll build the wall and the future. Delegates weep, donors wire millions. # Act 3. Tame Fortuna pivot like a demon in the storm, elections whirl like Machiavelli's river. Polls flood, gaffes drown. Chapter 25. Fortuna is a woman. Seize her boldly or she slips away. Fortune is the arbiter of half of our actions, but she still leaves us the other half to govern. Virtue crushes luck. Mid-campaign pivot. October surprise hits. Your old tweet surfaces. Don't apologize. Amplify outrage. They rigged it. Rallies swell. 2016 Trump. Axis Hollywood tape. Grab M became badge of alpha defiance. Polls rebounded 5 points. Voter turnout, your secret weapon. Chapter 16. Stinginess with the people's money. Hoard funds for get out. The vote machine's door. Knockers paid per vote flipped. Texts micro. Targeted. Your neighbor voted. Did you? In Georgia 2022, Walker lost by 1%. Your machine wins by 3%. Media war. Fox to traps. Lion to wolves. CNN ambushes. Walkout. Live on X. Fake news. Viewership explodes. Friendly Fox. Feed exclusives. Neutral MSM. Ignore till they beg. By November, you're the story. Swing states. Micro. Conquests. Pennsylvania steel towns. Promise tariffs, jobs. Michigan Muslims. Whisper pro-Palestine. Florida Latinos. Socialism kills. Tailor ruthlessly. Machiavelli's mixed principalities conquered one by one. Act 4 extended alliances of iron. Betrayals of steel, a cautionary satire. No prince truly rules alone. He borrows hands, voices, and loyalties, and calls them order. The ladders he climbs are gilded and slippery. Every rung bears fingerprints of the men he shoved down to reach it. Allies arrive as weather, warm and friendly at dawn, sudden frost by dusk. Chapter 7's maxim, allies are ladders, is spoken as a boast, then becomes a confession in a lonely office where the wine tastes like regret. Court the elders, and you learn the old tune. Win the nomination, and you discover the tune was everyone else's. Purges are surgical in rhetoric and messy in blood. Those who once taught you the moves become trivia. Their portraits hang in dim halls while younger faces, whose loyalty was purchased in private, smile for public cameras. The kingdom looks sturdier for a moment. In private, laughter has an edge that only the betrayed catch. The joke is theirs. Endorsements bought cheap glitter like carnival prizes. They shine under lights and tarnish in rain. Algorithms and amplification, once curiosities of engineers, become the loudspeakers by which myth is fed. Ministers who look competent in dossiers sometimes learn loyalty by accident. They are apprentices of survival, not virtue. The viceregal figure, meant to unify, often becomes a trophy whose shards cut both bearer and bearer's hand. Opposition coalitions are not crushed so much as unraveled, threads pulled at random until unity frays. But this is a slow art, funding fringe chaos, leaking half-truths, whispering doubts. These are petty tools that do a grand job of producing small, permanent cynicism. The public learns to expect betrayal as grammar. Civic language slides from we to every man for himself. Victory is not an ending, but a beginning of a different hunger. Consolidation reads poetically on paper. Pardons here, indictments there, cleansings in euphemism. The state, turned inward, begins to resemble a family keeping secrets in the attic. Agencies that once checked power begin to resemble altars. Rituals observed, answers rehearsed. The purge that promises safety produces instead a brittle silence, fewer voices, more fear, and the slow migration of talent away from halls that used to call themselves public. And yet the worst price is not political, it is moral. The prince who wins by stacking, stabbing, and silencing finds himself sovereign of a smaller country, smaller in trust, smaller in courage, smaller in truth. Monuments of iron are erected, but the people who built the pyres that heated the iron are gone. In time, museums replace markets. The living exchange of ideas is a fossilized tour. The story ends not with triumph, but with a catalogue. Names crossed out, friendships archived. A nation reduced to a ledger of transactions. If you want this reshaped into a short noir scene, an op-ed by a burnt-out staffer, or a theatrical monologue for a single actor, I'll write that next in the same cautionary voice. Which one should I deliver? Act 5, The Lion. Fox debates a cautionary satire, the arena glows. Camera eyes blink like electric vultures. He steps out a practiced myth, half lion chest, half fox smile, armor polished with slogans. The crowd breathes expectation and outrage. Both sell tickets. Be lion and fox. The strategists whisper in the wings, not as an idea but as law. On stage, he roars, a sentence meant to bruise, not to explain. He pivots before the room learns the question. His hands are choreography, his pauses a trapdoor. Where facts stand, he builds scaffolding of feeling, an architecture meant to look like truth from a distance. He eyes the opponent's tremor as if it's a map. The temptation is simple: exaggerate, mimic, puncture. The laughter that follows is immediate and intoxicating. But the laughter is a coin with two sides, spent now at the show, remembered later as the day civility was cashed in. In a small, bright backstage room, a volunteer switches off her phone and reads the hate-filled replies. She had come to the rallies for hope, not blood sport. That contrast is the true cost. Seize the frame, he bellows. The frame is seized. He paints the other as betrayal with colors that will not wash. He never pauses to measure the paint's toxicity. Questions about the economy become theater, empathy replaced by spectacle, nuance traded for a clear signal the crowd can clap to. He feigns outrage at a trap and turns it into a triumph, applause recorded as evidence of mandate. The cameras feed the applause to more cameras until the room believes what it sees, and the seeing stops being a discipline. A producer counts the knocks of fortune's clock. Openings, zingers, the fear finale. Vote for me or lose everything. He snarls like a general issuing ultimatums to a country he already treats as conquered. The crowd shudders and cheers. The pollsters later write a tidy headline: survival wins. For a week the nation agrees. For a decade it argues. But the scene does not end with the drop of the curtain. The echo follows. A nation with debate turned into gladiatorial sport. Public discourse puffed up with bravado and hollowed out beneath it. Allies who learned to be useful and then discarded learn other trades: silence, exile, sabotage. Institutions once relied upon for balance begin to look like props in a long staged show. Judges sleep poorly. The agencies that took orders begin to answer questions with rehearsed evasions. The monuments of victories become cold plaques that historians will later read not as triumphs, but as warnings. Machiavelli's maxim, "Learn the beasts of men," here becomes a finger wagging at the audience. Yes, power can be seized in a night of roaring and shifting shadows, but power taken that way eats its own. The final applause tastes like rust. The lion, fox may have won on stage, but the kingdom he inherits is quieter, smaller, and lonelier than the one he promised. His victory, if victory it is, comes with its own funeral band. Act 6 extended the eternal campaign. A cautionary satire, election night is a masquerade, and the stagehand who laughs last is often the one who burns the theater. Claim victory early, yes, shout it from every rooftop, until truth becomes a rumor and rumor becomes law. Litigate, fight, fine, but notice the cost. Every suit that wins, every ruling that bends, makes the law a thinner thing, a shelving for convenience. Civil principalities are neat little kingdoms of loyalty, Hold them with bread, spectacle, and stories. Feed the base, and you feed the machine. Feed the machine, and you starve the country. The Machiavellian prince learns quickly how to mix terror with tenderness, how to kiss a hand and place the chain. But remember, a state built on quick favors, stacked benches, and whispered threats is always a house of cards in a windless room. The monuments of might rise fast, stones, statues, plaques that gleam at opening. They glitter now, later they become tombstones for reputation. Walls can be built to keep enemies out, but also to keep truth in. The economy may roar under spun numbers and bravado. Prosperity measured in headlines is an insect caught between palms. The playbook's tempo-based lockdown, opponent vanquish, spectacle, turn out reads like choreography for a carnival that never ends. Spectacles consume resources and attention, nerves fray. Allies used and discarded learn to hide their knives or sharpen them. Judges appointed as loyal pillars remember, in quiet hours, their own oaths. Agencies stacked for loyalty calcify into echo chambers. The public senses the loss of a mirror and eventually hates what it sees. Fortuna is fickle. The prince who believes himself inevitable discovers that inevitability breeds complacency, and complacency breeds dissent. The final act of the eternal campaign is not the coronation but the accounting. Scandals once small become avalanches. Silence once enforced becomes a chorus of accusation. Legacy then reveals itself not in triumphant plazas, but in empty museums with tours that whisper, "Remember when?" Crown yourself. Machiavelli died exiled, but his prince rules thrones. In America's circus, you are the ringmaster. Ditch the halo, embrace the horns, win the election, rule the empire. First move, rally tonight. The people await their prince.